What's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of the Bronx Muchachos podcast, brought to you by 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight got David.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
We got Danny.
Yo, what's good, everybody?
Of course, we got our brother from another mother, our very own Prospects1500, Paul Woodin, joining us tonight.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Hey, everyone, you guys know the drill. Like, rate, subscribe, do all the things on Apple Podcasts. Check the box on YouTube below that if you're watching YouTube, go to iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google, Spotify, you know the drill. And also always hit up our spot on Linktree, which is link.tree/Real Bronx Muchachos for any and all deals we got going on. So, fellas, crazy things going on. We got 8 years, $300 million on the table. Whatever, how's everyone feeling about that? Do you think that's going to get it done, or are you thinking that there's more to it?
Nah. I think it's a starting point, but I think they ultimately end at about 8 years and 385. I think is the final number.
That's a huge number. I don't know the math.
385? That's massive.
Ridiculous. That's $48 million.
That's a hot take in
I think
of itself.
You know what? I'll take it. If it's a hot take and it happens,
there,
then you heard it here first, man. That's it. I mean, that's what I think it's going to take to get it done. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's not the old days where they're going. Yeah, it's not like the old days where they're going against themselves. Like the only other team in the mix is San Francisco, and San Francisco don't got that money to do it.
Yeah, well, San Francisco's over there saying they won't be outbid. So, I mean, we don't even know what San Francisco even offered him. So, until that comes out, I mean, who knows? But I think it's going to be in the high threes.
Well, yeah, we know that 8,300 is baseline. I think I'm still going to go with my 8,330 because that still gives them the AAV title, quote unquote title over Mike Trout. Trout's making $35 million over the next 11 years, so give our future captain $37 or $38 million and call it a day, But $48 million, that's kind of that's a huge number. But I don't think the Giants are even going to come close to 330. I just don't see that happening. Sure, they're going to say that they got a bunch of payroll space. They got a bunch. I think going into the seasons, it's like they're like $80 to $90 million, something like that, owed to the team currently. So they got a bunch of room to play with. But they're going to need a lot more than Aaron Judge to even be competitive in 2023. Like, that team wasn't very good last year. Sure, they won 107 games the year before, but that's not the same team. Yeah, so the Yankees are a lot closer to winning. That's what Judge wants. Like, sure, he could go home, but bro, with $35 million a year, you can take a plane, take your 3 hours, go to California all you want. But play in the biggest market, play for one of the best franchises in all baseball, in sports history. It's a no-brainer, but we'll see what happens. And right now, JP Morosi is reporting 50-50 between the Giants and the Yankees. That kind of scares me, but we'll see what happens.
So, Danny, to your point, the Giants
I heard that too.
Payroll, the Giants' active payroll right now is $94.4 million.
Yeah,
going into the offseason. So
there's a lot of room to grow.
Yep.
I think Giants need a lot of help. I mean, they need
a lot.
I think it's going to be, for me, I think it's going to be 9 years, 360. That's 40 a year. I think on the back end, you're just going to swallow that $40 million or that $80 million, and you get them for the front end of this contract. And by then, the payroll will be up and such. So you have more money to spend later on. and that 40 million won't necessarily hurt as bad. And I also think there's a team in the weeds for Judge. Somebody pops out and throws something out there, the Dodgers or somebody crazy.
Well, we already
Well,
know
the
about the
Dodgers already
Dodgers.
tried.
Well, the
having
Dodgers
Yeah.
threw out a number already.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking there's
5
like
years
a
at 210.
right, but I think that somebody like the Dodgers, like he thinks about them. That's kind of what I'm going like. He thinks about it.
Like the Angels, like if he's gonna go anywhere, it'll be to the West Coast. So
Yeah,
it'll
He's
be
not going to
possible.
Athletics.
oh, exactly no.
Somebody-
He's not going to Oakland.
It's
San
almost
Diego.
the Chris Bryant thing with Colorado.
He could
Like,
go down to San Diego.
who saw that? Who saw him going to Colorado and signing that huge contract there? It's the same kind of thing when Chris Bryant signed with Colorado. Like you didn't see it. It was just like, oh, hey, Colorado all of a sudden want to go throw a bunch of money at someone. I think it's gonna be the same type of thing. Like, oh, hey, some random team is gonna throw a bunch of money.
Yeah, but because Colorado is close to home, for
Yeah, but out there.
So Judge wants a winner. He wants a contender, and someone that's going to compete in 2023. All right, that list is very short. It's for the American League. It's us. It's Houston, and for the National League, you got the Phillies, the Mets, the Braves. None of those teams are going to be paying big money. Well, with the exception of the Mets, but the Mets already kind of bowed out. In the NL Central, St. Louis, Milwaukee, but when do they ever play in those waters? Never. And they just got Arenado for long term. And then in the West, yes, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Giants, but the Padres have a lot of money mixed owed to Tatis, who's become one of the biggest idiots in baseball. And then, I'm not sure how much more they could add to that payroll. So I can't see any other team other than the Yankees, Giants, Dodgers being a club that's going to be wanting to judge or actually pay for him or be in a position to even create any type of interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know who this sleeper team's going to be. I hope it's not, a certain AL East team from Massachusetts or a certain AL West team from Houston that ends up jumping in and signing him, because then I'll just have to, light myself on fire, unfortunately. Kidding. Not actually going to do it. But it would be devastating if he chose like the Houston Astros. It would just be like a dagger right through the heart. Or should I say the New York Mets?
We talk about Cashman getting fired all the time and not resign and whatnot. Cashman gets fired if you can't resign here, Judge. Period.
Oh, absolutely. If he doesn't, like, Al is definitely drinking some good stuff.
As soon as Aaron Judge's ink signs on another team's contract, Brian Cashman should see the door. Hal needs to walk in there and go, hey, you messed up. You're gone.
Hey,
well, they could
grab your stuff. Here's the box. Get out of here.
Start packing. Start packing even when it starts.
They could have solved this problem.
But how's in charge of all these? How's in charge of all the negotiations? He's a major part of it.
What's he gonna do?
So how's
GM for something that he failed to do?
Gone.
Yeah.
Here you go. You're fired because of a bad decision that I made. Come on.
Grab your sleeping bag. You're gonna be sleeping with the homeless, and for real this time.
See, Danny agrees with me. Thank you.
Well, Alex is hitting up the chat too. I feel he's coming back to the Yankees. He's just doing the tour to get pampered during a vacay.
I told you guys this. I felt like he went to San Francisco to get his steak. He got a free, his free steaks, and him and the wife got a nice, gorgeous meal, I bet. And hey, let's talk.
Absolutely.
Let's eat like a great meal on you guys. What the heck? Probably the mom and dad, the whole, the whole clan, the whole Judge clan. Free dinner on the Giants.
How would this team even look if we lost to Aaron Judge? Like,
not bad.
Where would we even start to try to recoup that loss of talent? Up the middle, get a Correa type.
You can't.
Trey Turner.
You can't replace that. There's nobody that you can sign that can replace that.
Everyone. Here's the thing: everyone's thinking about last year. He's not going to have another year where he's going 62 home runs and plus.
You don't know that.
You got to figure him.
You don't know that, bro.
He's not going.
Baseball's a weird. Baseball's a weird
He's
sport.
not gonna hit 62 again.
It's a weird game. Yeah, he's not hitting 62 again. And before the year was it those home runs he had before them was what 52, and that was what 4 years
55
earlier.
his rookie year. He had 55 in his rookie
So I mean,
season.
right.
I also
And then
question,
after that, the numbers were kind of in the pedestrian area.
I also question if the health will hold up.
What was that, Paul?
I also question if the health will hold up.
Well, that's
I mean, he finally had a healthy year, and
that's always another big thing.
Is he going to stay healthy continuous now? You got a question.
I think that's a bit overplayed because he had fluke injuries and he played through a lot of, he played through a punctured lung for crying out loud.
He was playing with one lung.
Yeah.
But he was also pulling the oblique for a while. So I mean, there was some fluke injuries with the broken wrist, but then the other ones weren't as fluke.
Yeah.
Like the Achilles. I think at one point was that he had training staff during that time frame was putrid to say
trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, behind the 8 ball, for sure. But no, honestly, like legit question: where do you, if the Yankees do lose out on Aaron Judge, where do you guys start? Like, who would be the top guy you go after, or top 3 guys you go after? Because this is a really deep free agent class, pitching wise, shortstop. Mark, you want to go first?
The first move you do is you get onto. Yeah, I'm saying you go Rodon and then you go Correa, because I think Rodon and Correa, you don't lose any. They both got qualifying offers last year, so it's just money at that point. You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything else. You're not. You know how much the Yankees love keeping their international money, and now all of a sudden they're big into the drafting as well. So they're not losing any of those positions by taking those 2 guys. I think you can convince Correa to move to third base, and you can have your infield of Rizzo at first. You can have Volpe at second. Put and then you go Correa at third base, and I think that right there is. And then obviously you're going to have moves with moving Donaldson, with Torres, with Hicks as well. But those right there. I've also, I read that the Yankees are in the hunt for this guy, Jake McCarthy, out of Arizona. He's 25 years old, lefty in the outfield, plays left field. Offensively, he's contact oriented. He's got decent, good on the offense. Doesn't strike out a lot at all, but defensively, according to Baseball Reference, he's a -1 defensive run saved on Statcast. He's a 0 runs prevented above average. He's got a below average arm. His running, his route running as the distance goes, he gets worse. So I don't know if that's the answer. I mean, he's 25 years old. I don't know if that would be the answer, but I keep hearing the Yankees are looking at him. So there's moves, and as much as we're trashing on Cashman, he's got plan B, C, D, and E lined up. Even guys on MLB in the morning, like Steve Phillips was talking about that.
Phillips,
like as much,
100%.
yeah. Like we're sitting here as Yankee fans, we're throwing Cashman under the bus because of all the moves and lack of moves that happen. But throughout baseball, he's widely respected. So he knows what he has a plan, and the Yankees have a plan if Judge doesn't come back. But I think those are some of the moves that happen. I think you solidify that starting pitching with Rodon, and then you turn around and you get Correa to come back and play third base. Because I don't think because neither one of them lose the qualifying offer. I know Paul and I had a conversation before yesterday about having Xander Bogaerts, because Bogaerts, and according to Peter Gammon, Bogaerts and Boston have full-on ties. They're not even talking more. So, I think Bogaerts goes to either Philly or goes to LA. I think those are his landing spots.
Dave,
and then you got left field. Left field is kind of like center field for the Yankees. They have, well, you need a center fielder then too. But you got Bader in center field for one more year, and then you're going to have a stopgap left fielder for a year, because I think in the next 2 years they're gonna promote Dominguez playing left field, and then possibly Jones is going to take over center field.
Well, if this
And then if
fails,
Cole stand, they can shift into right field.
well, my thought process is if this fails, you better get used to seeing Oswaldo Cabrera and Aaron Hicks in the outfield for, the time being. If it goes the other way where they don't bring Judge back, I would definitely go with Correa, have him play third. But then I'd go and get one of these Japanese guys, either Murakami, Yoshida, or Senga out of Japan. The pitcher Senga is absolutely disgusting. His stuff is just straight nasty. And the other two dudes can mash. So that's how I would go with it. The Yankees have not shied away from going and getting these kids out of Japan.
Come out right now.
You saw it with, Matsui. You saw it with, do I dare say, Kei Yagao, who was a complete catastrophe and a dumpster fire at that. But then you bounce back and you sign Tanaka. So that's the way I would go with it.
My opinion, I'm going to go sign Correa or Bogarts and Rodon, and I might throw some money at Justin Verlander. If I'm trying to short-term win this thing, I might just throw a bunch of money at him, and maybe you can persuade him. Like, hey, yeah, we lost Aaron Judge, but we got Correa, we got Bogarts, we got something else, we got Turner maybe, and just here you go, Verlander. Come on. You're friends with Garrett Cole. Come on, let's go.
I wonder if Garrett Cole's going to be instrumental in trying to lure Verlander to New York.
They're boys. Why not? If you throw a bunch of money, you bring Garrett Cole to a nice supper with Justin Verlander, and let Cole.
The thing is, though,
Cortez in the locker room itself, maybe you can persuade him into taking.
The thing is, though, he wants a Max Scherzer deal of like 3 years and $140 million.
That's even better, in my opinion, because at some point you're out of that when you're going to go try and sign those other contracts 3 years down the line. You'll have no money like on the books at that point.
Well, here's where I'm kind of like against that thought process, though, is like you got Aaron Judge out there. You don't want to give him 40 whatever million a year, but then you turn around and give a 39-year-old right-handed pitcher $42-43 million a year for a 3-year. It just, I don't know. Maybe the years things make sense at the amount of money, but if you're trying not to pay someone $40 million, this wouldn't make sense. I'm just trying to see it from both sides, I guess.
I got you. I'm thinking just it's a short-term lease. I'm looking at it like it's a short-term 3 years, 4-year contract, not the 9 years where you're paying $40 million down the line. Like, do you want to pay a 38 Aaron Judge $40 million? Probably not.
He'll probably get traded at that point, but like an MLB The Show, once it gets to that point, out of here. Well, for me, I really don't like Bogarts. I really don't. So I love Trey Turner. I understand the associated costs with him outside of the monetary value. But I just love what he brings to the table. And I think that the way the game is going to be played next year, a guy like Trey Turner is going to be a game changer wherever he goes. So Trey Turner will be my number one. And then I like the Rodon idea. He's probably the safest bet out of the free agent pitchers. DeGrom, you don't know what's going to happen with DeGrom. You just really don't. Like, yes, he was the best pitcher in baseball for 3 or 4 years there and couldn't be touched, but he looked very human last year, and that's a little concerning. Verlander's good. He's 39. Like, can he put up another Cy Young season? A year and some change after getting Tommy John? I don't know. That's a $43 million bet I am not willing to take. So Rodon, he had a great 2022 season. And I find a way to get rid of Donaldson. I find a way to get rid of Hicks. Dalton Varsho in Arizona, another Arizona product, had one of the better seasons for right fielders in baseball last year. 106 runs created plus, 4.6 WAR, but I know a lot of our listeners like those big numbers in terms of like homers and RBI. 27 homers, 74 RBIs, 16 stolen bases. Striking out a little bit above league average, 24%, 24.5%. But, he's going to get on base a little bit, 7.8 walk percent, 235 batting average. So, switch hitter, he's versatile. He can play. He's a catcher, outfielder. So, he's not going to give you Aaron Judge numbers. No one is. But that's a guy that we could supplement in the outfield, and maybe even a Brandon Nimmo or Benintendi to really change the outlook of this offense. So either way, it's not going to be good enough because I think Aaron Judge he's the best player. Like we see it in basketball where the superstar is a superstar, like Donovan Mitchell with the Knicks, right? Well, with the Cavs, he's a superstar player, and we got all these mediocre dudes that we wouldn't give up. And Donovan Mitchell's having a great season for Cleveland. Like Aaron Judge is a superstar; he's a transcendent talent, and having him on the Yankees is a lot better than not having him. No matter who you put on this team, ultimately, in my opinion.
So another angle from the pitching side that I've been having my eye on this kid from Arizona, Zach Gallen. He's a right-handed starter.
He's nasty.
12-4, 2.54 ERA, 192 strikeouts, and 188 innings pitched. If you want to improve the pitching, I'd try and go and get this kid. He's only 26 years old. But
how many years of control does he have left?
Yeah, but what are you giving up for him?
I don't know. That's the problem because he's been in the league since 2019. He broke in with Miami and then got traded to Arizona.
Oh, so he's got like 3 or 4 years of the control. That's going to cost a ton.
Probably
That's going to cost a millions.
Yeah. It's nice to dream, though. I mean, the kid's just a stud.
He is. He's got one of the best shooters in baseball. He's nasty.
Or you can turn around and go low, or you go with low rent and you go with Thor. Syndergaard. Syndergaard is an Eric Cressy guy. I mean, we took a flyer once. We took a flyer once before on Corey Kluber because he's a Cressy guy, and Corey Kluber's been pitching well. You can turn around and take another flyer on another Cressy guy who says I can work with him. So it's a short term. Yeah. The velocity's gone down, but you know what? It's a short term move that you could do, a 1 year kind of prove me deal or whatever. Because he's already got his $20 million. He's not getting another $20 million contract right now. Not the way he's pitching. But
where would
he get
my
get $10 million?
My opinion, though, if you're gonna go down this road,
or swingman, or you can go swingman.
My opinion, though, if you're gonna go down this road with Noah Syndergaard, you might as well just re-sign Jameson Taillon.
Right, agreed.
Because that's pretty much the same thing.
I think.
But Taillon's looking for more years. Yeah, but Taillon's looking for more years. Are you going to lock yourself up with Taillon for all those years?
So is Syndergaard. Syndergaard's looking for 3, according to what I saw today.
Oh, he's high.
But you could probably get him for. You could probably get him 2 with the. You could probably get him for on less. He doesn't. Who's going to be offering him 3 years?
Nobody.
Somebody will.
He's looking for 3. Doesn't mean he gets 3.
The Angels gave him $21 million for 1 year after he didn't even pitch for a whole season. They gave him $21 million.
I'm on board with Dave.
Yeah,
like Gallen or Pablo Lopez. I'm on board with that. Get a proven pitcher and someone that's going to be pretty cheap right now. Like when it comes to money. Prospects, whatever, dude. Trade them. Like if you got to trade Everson Pereira or Trey Sweeney, have at it. Have Will Warren. Have them. If I'm trying to win now, especially if I do sign Aaron Judge again, I'm going to have to find some cheap pitching. And Gallen and Lopez might be those 2 guys. Have at my prospects. Dude, have at them. Pereira have it. Sweeney have it. Warren have it. Have them. Have Gomez. Whatever you need. Like you don't touch the top.
Gomez guy might get picked up in the Rule 5 draft.
No, I'm talking about the pitcher.
Yanger's
Gomez.
Yeah. Everybody seems to like him a little more. I've been reading quite a bit about everybody's in love with him lately.
He's beginning to move through the system.
So you know what I find? You know what I find interesting with the Yankees in their pursuit of the starting pitcher? I feel like that tells me they don't believe that Nestor's going to have the same type of year that he had. And I feel like they don't really trust in a Herman Schmidt at the back end. So,
Can't.
or even a Montas. Like, they probably believe a little bit more in Montas than, Nestor or anybody else right now, which is kind of surprising. But
That's sad if that's the case.
So here's the thing. If Nestor can go do it again, great. But he's only done it once. He hasn't actually have a proven track record of this. This might be a fluky year. If he can give me the same thing or even relatively close, maybe a little higher ERA, then it's just an added bonus at that point if you go get another pitcher.
Is Nestor a legit number 2? Like, do you see this happening? Not a 2.75 ERA or 2.9, whatever it was this year, but do you see him kind of settling into like the Andy Pettit 3.5 ERA to like low 4s? And Andy Pettit was
we'll see after this year coming up.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I guess that'll come down the pipe when we do our season preview a couple months down the road.
Oh, and Danny, to get back to you about Gallen, he's not an unrestricted free agent until 2026. So they got 3 years of team control.
Yeah, he's going to cost a pretty penny.
I think he's worth it. Stats like that, definitely.
It starts with J-Dom, though.
Trade for him and then sign him to an extension immediately and just be done with that. So you're not playing that arbitration game.
Starts with J-Dom, bye. Adios. If I'm trying to win now, if I'm trying to win now and I just re-signed Aaron Judge, have at it. Have him. Where am I going to put him in 3-4 years if I already have Aaron Judge?
Left field.
There's 2 other outfield positions.
Right field's not the only outfield position.
We have a left fielder, a center fielder, and a right fielder. That equals 3. Aaron Judge is 1, so we need 2 other people. J-Dom could fit right there in the middle.
Go sign one. Go sign someone. Because if I spend that money on Aaron Judge and I go pick up a cheap pitcher, a Lopez or a Gallen, I have other money that I can go sign another outfielder. Even if I want to stick Trey Turner in the outfield, like he was in a couple of years ago, have at it. Spend the damn money.
Then who are you looking for? Who are you looking to bring into the outfield instead?
I mean, at that point,
And
right now you have.
I don't think
So Alex hit up the group chat. He said that Gallen will cost 10 firstborn babies. And he also said if they didn't trust Nestor, they would have told him no to the World Baseball Classic.
That's a point, but I think that's more so.
Good point, Alex. I'm proud of you.
I'm not sure if they really expect a number 2 type of season from him. Because they're going after high profile. They're interested in DeGrom. They're interested in Verlander. I'm sure they're kicking the tires on Rodon. So they have to do their due diligence. But it makes me question if they believe in the guys that we have currently in the rotation. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think Nestor's a number 2. I think Nestor's more like your number 3 kind of guy because I still think Sevy is your. I think Sevy's going to move back into the number 2 role, especially with Cole there. But Sevy's more like you have Cole as your 1A and Sevy's your 1B. That kind of spot. And then you have even Nestor might even move back to the number 4 spot because Montas, if that shoulder injury is fully recovered, he can slide into that number 3 spot. And then you got Cole. Yeah, then you got Cole, Sevy, Montas, then go right down to Nestor, and then you worry about your number 5 role. If you take a Tyone back, if you get a Syndergaard, if you bring a Clark Schmidt into the role, if you take a Herman at that point, there's the 5 is kind of is now loose where you can bring people up and down and move them around. Those 4 spots right there could be. Probably the following year. I mean, he blew it out. He blew out his elbow in June of 2022.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So probably not till early 24.
There was a report out there that they're going to try and extend Clark Schmidt out, make him like a multi-inning guy, like a 4 or 5 inning, 6 inning guy, stretch him out some. Yeah. So there was reports on that.
He needs to be a starter.
I agree. I mean, that's where he came through.
And he struggled. Like, I like the thought of Clark Schmidt in the role that he was in, but it was only in theory because in practice, he didn't do a good job.
I agree, but I think that's a case of he just didn't get an opportunity to settle in. It's almost like the case like for for Esteban Florial, it's the same kind of case. He never really got an opportunity to settle in a role. He was flapping between and settle him in the role and see what happens. See if you can find him that spot.
I think if I'm Clark Schmidt, this is like the biggest spring training of my entire life. Like, you go out there thinking you're going to be the fifth starter for this rotation, and you got to break camp being the best guy in that rotation. So this will be a big spring for Clark. We'll see what happens. I think they like Herman a little bit more too because he's proven Herman finds a way to win, and he keeps us in the game, which is great. He doesn't have the best stuff. He's not going to blow you away, but he finds a way to keep the Yankees in the game, and that's what you want in a fifth starter. So Clark Schmidt has to do the same thing or find a way.
If I can get Clark Schmidt to just be 5 innings a game on the backside of my rotation of 5, that's good. I'm fine.
100%.
I agree. I hear what you guys are saying. Well, let's take this conversation to a different realm. We're talking pitching. Let's talk about the field for a minute here. Danny, let's swing it back towards you. What was your take on the 2022 infield, and then what do you see going forward? Because there's a lot of moving parts in this infield, and there's a lot of that I think that will happen for this infield. So tell me what your thoughts on that is.
Well, Anthony Rizzo proved that he is a championship level player, right? He did on both sides of the ball all year. Glaber had a really good bounce back year, which has increased his value again to the point now where trading him is a viable option. 24 homers for Glaber, 10 stolen bases. The on base is not what I want to see. It was only a 310 on base. I think he's better than that. At shortstop, man, I'm struggling here with IKF, right? I think everybody is. Like, you wanted him to do better than what he actually did, but that is who he was in Texas. It's who he is with the Yankees, and it was who we will be in 2023, 2024, however long he has left in Major League Baseball. He's going to hit 260. He's going to get you 20 bags if he plays every day. And he's going to provide marginal defense at short, Gold Glove defense at third. But the Yankees misused him. They did not give him the best opportunity to get the most out of IKF. Then Donaldson, right? I was a big proponent to this trade because what it allowed us to do, getting rid of Gary. I think we still won it because we got rid of Gary. Like, that's how bad Gary was, and that's how much he brought down the team. Because we got a platinum Gold Glove, a platinum winner in Jose Trevino. And unfortunately, it took $25 million of 87 runs created plus for Josh Donaldson, a 210 batting average, 15 homers. But at least we didn't have Gary Sanchez, right? Man, Donaldson was such a disappointment. It was disappointing. Like, the defense was great. I'm surprised he didn't even get the Gold Glove because he led the league in defensive runs saved and outs above average. He led all third basemen in those two categories. The glove was amazing, and it led to a lot of wins. He had a lot of clutch hits. The homer against Tampa, the walk-off hit against the Red Sox. But in between all of that was a lot of balls down the middle that he just looked at, a lot of ugly swings. We all remember the swing that he took in the division series against Verlander, where it was just like, my God, the sword of the year. It was just he was kind of embarrassing offensively. overall, I give the infield a B minus. Oh, let me not forget DJ LeMahieu. 125 games, 542 plate appearances, right? Kind of a mixed bag offensively. Really good defensively. He obviously won a Gold Glove for utility man, but he got hurt and he wasn't available again for the playoffs. Like, bro, we paid this dude 6 years, 90 million or whatever it was to be that leadoff guy, to be that MVP type of dude, and he just hasn't done it the past 2 seasons. He's gotten hurt. I'm kind of down on DJ. He's still hurt. We don't know what's going on with his big toe. We don't know if he's going to get surgery. We don't know what's going to happen come spring training. Like, it's frustrating to see what's going on with DJ. They did a poor job with.
So what do you think going forward for 2023 then?
We got to figure him out. He has to get healthy. He has to get healthy. So
what are your thoughts about what Hal's been saying?
Oh, about Volpe and Peraza starting in the middle. That'd be great.
2023.
That'd be great. I don't know if it's gonna happen this year. It may happen in 24, because based on what they've done with all their prospects, they've been very conservative. Volpe's probably gonna get a lot of time at second base in AAA. I don't expect him up in the big leagues. I expect him to be in big league camp for a long time, but second base is going to DJ or Glaber unless they trade Glaber. But I think Peraza has a strong shot at making the starting 23 as the starting shortstop.
Yep.
Overall, B minus for that group.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
Rizzo.
I had Rizzo and DJ at first. You're gonna want to give Rizzo a couple of days off here and there with that back. That was my theory on that. He's got that bulky back. I want him for 140 games. He's got that bulky back. I got to keep him healthy. Second base, Glaber, DJ again. Split that a little bit. And then third base, I see the Josh Donaldson thing. You kind of have to play him. But can we break that? Again, let DJ slide over there sometimes. Maybe IKF slide over there sometimes too. Same thing. Injury-prone guy. Trying to keep him healthy. Trying to keep him rotated. As far as Peraza and Volpe, Peraza, IKF split that shortstop job. And I think the majority has to go to Peraza if he's on the big league roster. I'm not wasting him as a part-time player. Why am I going to do that? Because then I could just send him down to AAA and give him full-time at-bats. I'd rather do that than waste him as a part-time player. Volpe, probably not in play this upcoming year. Maybe towards the tail end of the year if there's some injuries. And as far as Oswaldo Cabrera, same thing. I have him kind of rotating like between the outfield and the infield. I also like him to get some playing time at first base in the next couple of years. Maybe he can take over when Rizzo's contract's all done. Just a thought.
All right, Dave, what about you?
So I'm pretty much in agreement with everybody. Rizzo and DJ probably alternate the two of them at first base. Second base, I could definitely see a platoon of Glaber, DJ, and Cabrera. I think going into this year, you have probably a better chance of seeing Peraza and Cabrera up the middle than Peraza and Volpe. If they want to convert Volpe to second base, I can see them doing it full time in 2023 in the minor leagues at AAA versus learning on the job at the major league level. And shortstop, man, dude, like everyone wants to, like, we know IKF was not the solution, but honestly, he did what he was told to do. And looking at his numbers, he only made 15 errors at shortstop. He had a 970 fielding percentage at shortstop. Not saying that's great or anything, but I'm not saying it's as bad as everyone thinks the eye test is. On paper, he looks like a decent shortstop, but the eye test says something different. And he had a 909.
Dave, you're sounding a lot like Aaron Boone right now. I just want to let you know.
No, I'm not saying he's the greatest defensive
like
shortstop in the major leagues. I'm just saying that the eye test looks worse than what is on paper. That's all I'm saying. And I'd rather see Peraza at shortstop for 2023. He should have been the starting shortstop this past season, and these other two clowns shouldn't even have been here. And they could have just kept Gio at third base. And Gio was the better hitter offensively than Josh Donaldson this past season. And that's the other thing. I mean, I don't think there's a way they get Donaldson and Hicks off this team, not without giving up a top 3 prospect to go with it to offset the money issue with both their contracts. So third base, I mean, this whole infield alignment thing is really going to depend on whether Glaber gets traded and if DJ is healthy. I don't think you're going to see Glaber traded if DJ is not healthy going into this year. It's just, why would you do that? Why would you trade your starting second baseman when you don't know if your soon-to-be 35-year-old Gold Glove second baseman is going to be good to go? That's not a very good business practice. Overall, I give this group a B for this past season.
I got you. I'll say this. Obviously bringing Rizzo back, the 2 years guaranteed is a big move, and I'll get into that in a little bit. The second base spot, Glaber solidified himself at second base and also got himself some trade value. I still think that this offseason is the perfect time to trade him, whether DJ is available or not. Shortstop, we've been beating this horse drum all year. It should have been Peraza. It is going to be Peraza. If they don't do that, they better have signed one of the big free agents to put in this. I don't think they're going to do that. And third base, I think that they're going to keep Donaldson here, and they're going to eat the money there, because this is what I see happening. This is Donaldson's last year on his contract. You get whatever you can out of him, and you move 2000. So follow the money right now with this. 2024, Yankees have, I think, 1 million, 1.5 million in their 5 million plus international money already locked in. They're gonna go after Murakami, and I almost butchered his name, Murakami, the Japanese player. He plays third base.
Murakami
comes over. He wants to come here. Yeah, he wants to come here. He's got he wears number 55 because his favorite player was Hideki Matsui, and he's got a closer relationship with Matsui. So Matsui's going to be pushing him over this way. So figure you put Murakami at third base in 2024 for the first season. That would be could possibly be Rizzo's last year at first base for the Yankees. Then going forward after that, you can move Murakami to first base, have third base open for somebody else, for one of the young kids coming up. And now you just solidified your entire infield. If a kid like Roderick Arias turns around and starts taking off like a Dominguez takes off. I mean, Roderick Arias is really young and really raw still, but he's got crazy talent.
Roderick Arias
I see you holding up the finger.
Yeah, he put up a video on Instagram. He looks bigger, number one. And number two, he's just looking so good. I was like, I am ready. Let's go. Yeah. Keep going, kid. Because he looks bigger just from
how long have I been telling you about this kid?
I saw those Instagram reels. And I was like, is this the same kid that we signed a year ago? My mind was blown. I was like, this is the same kid we signed a year ago?
He's gonna be excited. For real.
He had his year in DSL, he was marred with a wrist injury. So he really didn't show what he had. I mean, he wasn't as bad, he hit like 195 or something like that. But I mean, even I forget the number 2 guy that went to the Nationals. I mean, he didn't hit that well either. But I mean, you're talking about kids that are really young that are moving forward. So yeah, they're gonna, now he's getting in. Now he's really training with the Yankees. Now they're teaching. Now they're getting him into their system. They're telling him what they want him to do, how to do it. They're giving him all the tools necessary. Plus, now he's probably eating a little bit better than where he was eating before. So now he's getting the nutritional value as well. So yeah, he's going to get a little bit bigger. But I fully see in the future. I fully see that. Was that Paul?
I was gonna say, I think a move to third isn't out of Arias's future. That he is bulked up quite a bit. You got the infield already locked up for the middle. If you're keeping him, a move to third is where it's at.
Hey, he could do that. He could be like a Chipper Jones over there for the next 15 plus years.
I was literally just thinking that. That's crazy you said it because I was literally thinking it. That's crazy. Yeah, no, 100%. Switch hitter, big hit. Yeah,
Right.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? And boom, I mean, talk about your infield locked up there with Murakami at first, Volpe second, Peraza short. You got Arias at third base. Then even you swing the outfield. I mean, and this is just an all Yankee, all prospect outfield. Prospects going at all. You know, Dominguez in left. You have Spencer Jones in center, and then you got Judge in right field for the time being, and then see what happens. You know, towards the end of Judge's contract. I mean, when Giancarlo Stanton moves off, then you can swing Judge over there, and then you still have guys like you might have a Pereira still in the system. You got a Brandon Maia who's going to be signed in another month and a half,
8 weeks
for like 4 point, not even 8 weeks, no, like 6 weeks. He's going for what, four little less than $4.5 million. I mean, that's an outfield. That's an outfield right there. That's a crazy amount. So I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts, but I think I think that's how it gets played. And Dave, to what you were saying before, Aaron Hicks is a very movable contract. Very movable. 10 AAV of 10 million a year is really movable, especially with the luxury tax has been bumped up and is continually moving up. It's not stagnant. Like a team can could take that on, even if we say, okay, we'll eat a third of that money. That's crazy movable.
problem is who's going to want him.
You can get a team. There's plenty of teams that need somebody.
Yeah, they just traded Renfroe.
Yeah, but they didn't want to pay him like all that. Let's say the Yankees eat $6 million of that 10 years. That's $4 million. That's a switching outfielder from Milwaukee to put in center and left. You know, I mean, it's not going to get you Brandon Woodruff, but you know, someone in their system. Who knows?
And I will say
they can send him out to Pittsburgh.
And one more thing about Donaldson, let's just hope he has a great first half. That way he's tradable. Bye. See ya.
Yeah.
He's 30. He's 37. I mean, you're talking about trading him and like what? It's still what? Say $14 million. You got to get rid of. That's. But
if he has here's the thing.
At that point, you might just eat it all and just let him ride it till the wheels fall off.
If he has a great first half, why not keep letting it ride till they get that World Series? Why not let it ride? If he's great,
chances are will crash and
I can't come up with that.
Will crash and burn.
But chances are. But then you move it around. That you give him that time off. But you turn around. You let the ride him till the wheels fall off, and then you throw him on the bench and let DJ take over third base, or let IKF take over third base on a regular.
Mm-hmm. This Yankees infield is really deep, and I think that's a hallmark to this franchise. But the depth is not giving you high impact, with the exception of Rizzo, and on occasion, Glaber and DJ. You know, Donaldson, we're going to continue to talk about that. But I'm interested to see how Peraza would do in a full year offensively in the big leagues. We saw what he did in AAA, but I'm not sure if the bat is going to translate to – I think the power is going to be there. Don't get me wrong. I think the power and the stolen bases will be there. I'm not sure about the other aspects, the hit tool with Peraza as of yet. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
I agree with you on that, Danny. I agree with you on that. And it seems like Peraza is also a slow starter too. He doesn't come hot out the gate. Mm-hmm. But last year in AAA, I mean, after the first month or after the first 6 weeks of AAA, he was a 300 hitter. Or the summer, or especially the summertime months, he was a 300 hitter in AAA. So, and he took those numbers, and he brought those numbers directly into the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
He batted 301 with a home run and a few RBIs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as advertised, Gold Glove caliber defense. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you give me a 270, even if he bats for me 275 batting out of the 8-hole or 9-hole, I'll take that. And he's got some speed on him too.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's all wins. That's all wins, especially with how the game is going to be moving into more of a fast pace, more running, and he has the agility and the range at shortstop to make those plays.
He's a legit 2020 dude. Legit. It's not
Mhm.
even a question. He's gonna get you. Maybe in his prime, he could get you 30-30, maybe. But I think right now you could get a legit 2020 guy, and like you said, put him in the 8 or 9 hole and let him eat. But I still am worried about the hit, and we'll see what happens in this year. Maybe some more at bats will help him out, and may expose him. We'll see.
And maybe we'll take it. Well, let's flip it. Let's flip the coin for a second there. Cabrera came when Cabrera was coming up. He wasn't known for his hit tool at all. He was late swinging until after COVID, and then he turned it on after that. So, and then the minute he even last year in the minors, he wasn't hitting that well. Came to the majors and took off for a bit. I mean, he got exposed later on, but he did what he did. He was coming up with timely hits. So maybe it's just one of those things that as Peraza gets comfortable, the bat will come around more. So I mean, it's not baseball's not just played by the numbers. It's always about the heartbeat too. So as long as you can marry the two together.
Yep. I have a weird question. Like, we have all these retired numbers. Like, at what point does Peraza change from 91 to a legit number? Same thing with Cabrera. He's wearing 85 or something like that.
They were they were both in the 90s. They're both in the 90s. I think one of them had, what was it, Florial 91? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them had 95. The other one had 90 or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah. When did they get a number in the 30s? Come on.
If they make I think this spring training you see them with the numbers in the 30s and 40s.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think there's going to be I think that number 24 is going to be held on to. They're not going to give out 24 until Dominguez rolls through. That's something I think about. I think 24 has
wearing 24.
Yeah, but he's not on the team.
He's not going to be around. Yeah, I don't see him coming back. I would like for him to come back, just on a moonly deal.
Look at King. He was wearing number 72 for the longest time. He finally just changed it to number 34 this past season. So,
So what numbers are available? 22, 24, 25, 26, 27. Oh, no, not 26. Who's got 26? DJ.
DJ's 26.
DJ's got 20.
Glaber's got 25.
Isn't 18, 17, and 18 available also, or something like that? Or 19
No,
is
17
available?
is Boone's number.
Boone
So
has one
18,
of those.
so 18 and 19 are available.
Okay. Yeah, one of them's gonna get it, and we'll see what happens. Give it to Volpe. Give Volpe 18.
They might give Volpe 22.
Paul, what do you think?
I like that.
Get in on this. You've been quiet.
I'm thinking about Johnny Damon and his terrible time at number 18. I don't need no
Jacoby Ellsbury with 22.
All right, and then I'm thinking
Roger Clemens was 22.
Yeah, well,
Robbie Cano when he first came up was 22.
Robbie Cano was 22 when he first came up.
22 and then turned to 24. I'm just thinking of the bad past luck of these numbers you guys are throwing out here.
12, Alfonso Soriano. When he first came.
All right, well, I could deal with that, but
IKF has 12.
First thing that popped.
Everyone that wears 13 is cursed.
I had a small piece of my heart for Alfonso Soriano. I still do.
Yeah, I love Sori. Yeah.
I
was so
look
pissed
back
when they DFA'd him. I look
back
when they DFA'd him.
The trade worked out to get A-Rod, but I wasn't for the trade at that point. But that's for a different conversation.
Yeah.
I just think what you got from A-Rod, you could have got probably from Soriano at that point too, or pretty damn close. But
what number are you giving Dominguez? 30
conversation.
No, I think Dominguez gets number 24. I think that the number 24 there's something in the Dominican culture like the number 24 is big. because I remember that's why they gave Gary that number. That like when Cano had it, like, it was a big deal that Cano got 24. So that's why when Gary came up, Gary got number 24. I think it was a big number with. I heard somewhere that was big with the Dominican culture.
Well,
having
Manny was
number 24 was a big thing.
Manny
Man,
Ramirez
Manny
was
Ramirez 24.
and not only like just the Latin culture in general. I mean, Roberto Clemente was huge, not just to Puerto Rico, but the whole Latin baseball community. So I think that's where it realistically comes from.
Well, he's
he was 21.
Oh,
No,
21.
he was
Whoops.
21.
Yeah, he's 21. Yeah,
Mm.
but
I don't know.
same. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think, hopefully come spring training, they actually give him like legit numbers. Like, I don't know,
man. I mean,
91.
I'm not against it. I kind of like Cabrera rocking number 95. I feel like it fits him for some reason. Huh? Judge kept 99 because he said he never wanted to forget where he came from. That was the first number they gave him when he went to spring training.
Yeah.
His first spring training, that was the first.
Yeah, but but there was another reason behind it all. That's why was it now known as Jackson Frazier had 77, and I think was it Ben Gamble?
Right,
I think Ben Gamble had 88.
No,
so the outfield was supposed to be 77,
What?
88, and 99. It was
Clint Frazier. It was Clint Frazier, Dustin Fowler, and Aaron
That's
Judge.
the one. Thank you.
Those were the top three outfielders at the time.
Yeah, but when they were all going to come up together, they were supposed to be 77, 88, and 99. That was supposed to be outfield altogether.
Look how well that worked out.
Yeah, exactly. The best laid plans. Paul, you're muted.
You're muted, bro.
Both Frazier and Dustin should have been moved earlier than they were.
100%.
Well, Dustin blew his knee out running into a wall.
Prospects at that point.
We could have had
Fowler got his Sonny Gray.
We could have had Garrett Cole earlier if we gave up Miggy and gave up Frazier
and Clint.
Bye.
Come on, have fun in Pittsburgh. Like, who cares? You're the NL Central. It doesn't affect us. Come on. Anyway,
remember the Johan Santana trade where they wanted Phil Hughes, Jabba Chamberlain, and Melky Cabrera?
Oh,
God. So look back on that thing 15 years later and go, you know what? This probably would have been a good idea.
Jabba and Phil got us a World Series, though.
This is true. But there's no telling what Santana could have done.
Maybe we're one.
So Alex was chiming in. Alex has a theory about the Judge keeping 99 because he said Judge keeps 99 because he has 99 problems, but baseball ain't one. That's what Alex said.
Bro,
he's about to get paid. Get that bag, Aaron. Get that bag, bro. I think that's it right there. I think we should end on that note. I think that was perfect. Good job, Alex. Always contributing, man. Always.
Even when he's not here.
Finding a way.
Finding time in there. All right, Dave, send us out of here, brother.
Well, just want to thank Paul again for jumping on with us tonight, as always. It's always a good time when you come through, brother. If you haven't been Christmas shopping yet, check out our link tree. We have a great sports memorabilia sponsor through Fanatics. It has a lot of signed autographed stuff, so shop for your loved one there. And for the real Yankees fan in your life, give the gift of the Bronx Muchachos. Shop our online store and use the promo code BM15 to save 15% on your order. Got a lot of great stuff there. Pint glasses, tumblers, hoodies, yoga pants for the ladies, bike shorts for the ladies. Go check out the store. Take your pick. Great quality items there. And, also shop Lids is one of our sponsors. Check out their promo code of the day. Everybody listening internationally, we thank you again for this amazing journey that you've all shared with us. For Mark, Danny, Alex, and Paul, David, Bronx Muchachos, signing off.